Will you ever wonder what John McCain was thinking when Rand Paul said this?
These people who call loudest to criticize me are great proponents of President Obama's policy. They just want to do it 10 times over. I'm really the one standing up to President Obama, and these people are essentially the lapdogs for President Obama, and I think they're sensitive about that.
You know, McCain was watching, and today John McCain is here to respond. But ahead of Mac on the attack. A serious case of Iranian bullshit? Because we keep watching them, maybe we should start boarding them. A growing chorus in Washington to say, quit dilly-dallying. Welcome, everyone. I'm Neil Cavuto. All of this has got Republican Congressman Randy Forbes, steaming mad, issuing this statement. Unfortunately, as has so often been the case, the White House refuses to speak candidly with the world, even about the deployment of an American aircraft carrier. In its desperation to get any nuclear deal with Iran, the White House has refused to even acknowledge that Iranian aggression is the reason for the Roosevelt's deployment. To retired U.S. Army Ranger Sean Parnell, who says this time the White House has to send a clear message. But this time we're told not much. Maybe their argument is stand back, let's watch. You say what?
Well, I mean, I say that when they sent a U.S. aircraft carrier into the region, into the Arabian Sea, I was excited, along with many American people and many people all across the world that want increased American influence and want a strong American president. I think most people want an American president to stand up and say there is a point past which you will not advance. There is a line you will not cross. And if you cross that line, there are going to be repercussions. And I think that this president has always been reluctant to do that.
All right, so we've got this convoy of Iranian ships, and we're tracking them, almost shadowing them as they arrive in Yemen or get close to Yemen. Do you think we should just board them now to find out once and for all whether there are weapons, supplies to insurgents on those ships?
Well, it's difficult to say. I certainly think it's the right move strategically to get American warships in that region to at least monitor them at the very minimum. I mean, what's so tragically ironic, Neil, about the situation in Yemen is that President Obama touted Yemen as a shining example and successful example of his smart war policies in combating terrorism. And that's just not the case. If you look at the situation in Yemen right now, the government has collapsed, the country is a failed state, the president in Yemen has fled the country. Houthi rebels control large swaths of territory all across the country. They control major infrastructure, key ports, airports, seaports, oil terminals. And at the very minimum, we've got to do something to flex some American muscle, and I think putting warships in that area is the right answer. I'm just not sure that actively boarding those Iranian ships is at the time.
All right, because the fear seems to be that it would be drawing us into Iran's web. If that's the case here, we board them, that gets the Russians upset. It starts this bigger development in the region, and that's something the administration doesn't want to do in the middle of this deal. What do you make of that?
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think that the Obama administration is afraid to alienate the Iranians in the middle of a nuclear deal. But this is the same, and I think that let me just back off and say that Iran is doing a pretty good job of alienating the United States of America during those negotiations. This is an Iranian regime that has called death to America just this week, called for the annihilation of Israel last week, called the Jews rabid dogs, destroyed a mock American aircraft carrier in the middle of these negotiations. So this is a regime that can't be trusted, and it's time for an American president, President Obama, to take a strong stance and be forthright with the world and combat our enemies.
All right, Sean, thank you. Good seeing you again.
Good to see you again, Neil. Thanks,
All right,
thanks a lot for having me on. I appreciate it.